Prajat Sethi, when we come down to what the Prime Minister emphasized on very clearly is one nation, one election. Once again, that's been a highly contentious issue.
Right. No, I agree. And alongside mentioning these key reforms, he also highlighted that there is a need to build consensus. All political parties across the aisle will have to understand that he's not coming from a partisan position when it comes to these reforms. These reforms are good for the nation. Convincing that idea, taking it to various stakeholders is his government's job. They have done an elaborate exercise with the former president, Honorable Kovindji, who has gone through, has had several stakeholder meetings, has sat through various election commissions and various constitutional authorities, etc., and has drafted that report. Congress would do a good job by going through that report, who a former constitutional head of our country had painstakingly drafted. And then look at that report, look at the various provisions. He's gone into great detail, looking at various kinds of pros and cons, and try to address it. Why can't we ever have a civilized debate which is non-partisan in nature? Is it not true that every 6 months we get into the election cycle and each of these states get into poll? Maharashtra, for a matter of fact, for the past 6-7 months has been embroiled in an election cycle and model codes that go on with it. And for further 3 more months at least, it will again be involved in the election cycles. All the key ministers are campaigning. The opposition is campaigning. Everybody is campaigning for the past 1 year of one of the most industrialized state of our country. So my point is, look at certain things beyond your political cocoons. Come out of it, give it an honest thought. If it doesn't make sense, ask the right questions in public domain. Okay. If you do not find answers, raise the concerns, take it to the public. We need to rise up, especially on a day like this, Independence Day, when we, recall and sort of pay homage to all the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for our freedom. And we as a nation can't even have a civilized debate on a topic which doesn't seem partisan at all.
All right.
And this is where I think he has tried to reach out to various stakeholders.
All right. Ashutosh, you want to weigh in on that, especially where the allies stand, because the JDU has made it very clear that they are with the government when it comes down to one nation, one election. The TDP unclear on their stand.
They are anyway having one nation, one election.
See, first of all, if the idea of UCC is that live-in partners should get registered, then I'm sorry, this is not a reform. This is basically taking the country 200 years back.
Fair point. That's the Uttarakhand.
This is something. Yes. This is something which is bizarre. I've never heard. I'll compliment my Prime Minister if he comes out openly and says anybody who goes for the interfaith marriages, the intercaste marriages, I am going to promote them and I am going to appreciate them. And on record, there will be certain incentive for that. But here is a movement to stop the interfaith marriages at all. There should not be any intercaste marriages. The young kids should not be mingling with each other, should not be living with each other. They have to be registered, and the police will come with a baton and beat them up, left, right, and center, and then some bigot will come with some color, and will make them do some made a kind of a thing. So if this is the idea of reform, then God can only save us. Secondly, let's not talk about the gender sensitivity with this party for the simple reason. Have you forgotten the Braj Bhushan Saran? Have you forgotten Bilkis? Have you forgotten Kathu? Have you forgotten? And for God's sake, Baba Ram Rahim, how many times he's going to get parole? How many times? Just because his followers are in lakhs and they should be voting for the BJP in Haryana election. This is shameful. The man is convicted twice for the rape of a woman and murder. And he's getting bail, paroles all the time. And and I will really give points to the Prime Minister if he openly says, I am going to launch a movement against the dowry deaths. BJP and RSD will never talk about the dowry deaths. Will never talk about interfaith marriages. Will never talk about intercaste marriages. They will only go and support people like Braj Bhushan Saran Singh. What a shame this is. Manipur women are not women, but Bengal it is gender issue. Manipur is not a gender issue. The man who should be resigning for the long back. He's still continuing with the. What a shame.
All right. Ashutosh, I think you just wanted to vent because the question I asked was completely skirted. I'll come back to that question later. Fair point. Yes. No, I'll come back to you, sir. Sir, you've used your time. No, Ashutosh, sir, you've used your time. I'll come back to you later. Allow me to go to the spokespersons then. I will come back to you. Mohan Kumar Mangalam, the fact is, you talk about gender violence where the BJP is concerned, but you're none the richer. Try to get the Hooda say one word against Ram Rahim's furlough or parole. Not one. Will they oppose it? Absolutely not. Because
I can't hear you at all.
You can't hear me?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you at all.
All right, we're going to correct that audio line.
Let me hear the panelists, but I can't hear you when you're speaking.
I'm going to correct that audio line and we're going to come right back to you. Tuhin Sinha, I want to bring you in. Would you want to respond to Ashutosh?
You know, I'm glad you called out his unwarranted meltdown, because as an independent, he should stay away from the, from whataboutery, which is the domain of which is the forte of the Congress party. You know, at least on Independence Day, try to be independent when you're coming in as an independent analyst.
That's his
Point
thought.
is, he was referring to some, UCC clause.
Mr. Sinha,
that was not his thought. Come on, you also called him out.
No, I didn't call him out. I just said he avoided my question.
Be consistent in your thoughts,
he had a piece that he had to say, and that's that. I didn't call him out.
Anyway, he was
I'm not calling you out of anyone who says anything. You're allowed to say whatever you want.
UCC,
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
He was referring to a UCC clause. He was referring to a UCC clause in Uttarakhand, which makes it mandatory to register live-ins. You know, does he realize what was the reason behind that? Because there is an increasing number of macabre crimes which have been reported in the society involving one or the other of the live-in partners. That was the only reason. Has it been stopped even remotely? They wanted to take
Sinha, let's not get into that debate.
Why will he have a problem with that?
Sir, that's not right. Let's not get into something because
you asked me to respond.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Make your
point. You can't control my words. If you ask me to respond to him, if you asked me specifically to respond to him, and I was calling his bluff.
Go ahead,
the point is, I think one of the reasons why many in the Congress ecosystem are rattled today because Prime Minister was equally candid on, hitting out at anarchists and telling them that this negativity will not be tolerated. In the last few months, we have seen how this opposition has spread canards on the issue of constitution, that constitution will be tampered by BJP. We have seen how they have spread all kinds of falsehood on the issue of Agniveer. Even bringing in the caste element, I think that needed to be called out, and I think that is what is frustrating this opposition.
All right.
Apart from that, you can look at the education sector, what Prime Minister said about the education sector, about the medical sector, and they are all positive things, which needs to be appreciated. Rather, I don't know why the opposition is venting out their anger today.
All right, okay. Mohan Kumar Mangalam, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
What I said, but the question, Mohan Kumar Mangalam, was that it's a little rich by the Congress to come out and say that the BJP doesn't respect women and, the entire statement that you made, because I'll give you an example. Have the Hoodas, who are now contesting an election in Haryana from your political party, to come out and oppose furlough or bail given to Ram Rahim. There'll be not a word from them. Because an election is in order, there's a vote bank in question. Number one, sir. Number two, we speak of Kathua at length. Who gave a ticket to Lal Singh from your political party? You did, sir.
Preeti, when Gujarat elections were happening is when the rapists of Bilkis Bano were released. Even Aam Aadmi Party did not say anything about it. I think we were the only party who raised our voice about it. Are we perfect? Have we not made mistakes? No. I'm pretty sure that we made mistakes. You pointed out a couple of them. But I'm just saying on balance, if you look at all the several issues that have happened, I think broadly I can hold my head high as a congressman that we've stood on the side of what's right 9 out of 10 times. And I'm giving you Bilkis Bano as that one example, or even Brij Bhushan Saran Singh. And like I said, I'm sure that some of the examples you've given, I'm not going to engage in whataboutery and point to the BJP for them. I'll own them and say, I'm sure we made mistakes. But like I said, for the most part, for the Prime Minister to go off on a diatribe about women's safety and pretend to be sort of their guardian through what's happened in the recent past seems like empty words and rhetoric. I couldn't hear you, Preeti, but I could hear most of what the panelists were saying. And I heard Rajat when he said that the Prime Minister is reaching out to the opposition when he's talking about one nation, one election. He's trying to be conciliatory, or he's trying to bring people together. Let me ask him that if what the Prime Minister is doing is trying to reach out to the opposition, is one of the ways to do that to ensure that the leader of opposition sits way back in the 4th or 5th row? Is that when breaking all sort of protocols that is normally held, while only saying it's being done for Olympic gold medalists, but then ensuring that Mr. Amit Shah, Ms. Nirmala Sitaram and Mr. Jaishankar are sitting in the front row? Is this the manner in which you reach out to the opposition?
All right, so we are digressing a bit, but Tuhin Sinha, would you want to come and respond to that? Because that many would think is churlish and petty.
No. Let me come in.
Rajat, you want to respond?
No.
Tuhin
Sinha.
which
I'm sure must have been
directed at me.
Rajat, I'll come back. No, I don't think you really want to come in on why Rahul Gandhi was given the 5th row seating.
No, I don't care about that.
Right. So, yeah, let me get in Tuhin Sinha and I'll come back to you after that. Yes, Tuhin Sinha.
No, I'm sure, Preeti, there are rules and regulations with regard to seating arrangements which would have been followed.
No.
I'm not
Sir,
exactly
as per
privy
rules
to
and
why the
regulations,
fifth seat,
the leader of opposition should have been accorded the front row.
No, I'm not aware of the reasons why, because like I said, the rules and regulations would have been followed. Why would we put him in the back seat? I'm
That's
sure
the
there were
question.
certain rules which were being followed, and which is why he was there.
What do you mean? Everyone knows what protocol is. What kind of response is that to him?
All right, no, maybe he doesn't know. This wasn't the debate for that. We've digressed from the debate. Maybe he doesn't know because we were not discussing this. But the fact is, Tuhin Sinha, just to get you up to speed, the LOP, as per protocol, is accorded the front row. So many thought, why was he sitting in the 5th row? The official explanation by the government is that the defense ministry was responsible for the seating.
Like
and
I
they
said,
said,
you should wait for an official response from the organizer. And
I'm
I don't
giving you
think
the official
I
response.
don't think
response,
why would Congress
Fair enough.
why would Rahul Gandhi feel slighted? He should have a little more confidence. These things don't affect the political leader.
So the official response by the defense ministry is
insecure
that the
and
reason Rahul Gandhi was given the 5th row in seating is because the Olympians were there, and therefore to make room for them, he was given the 5th row. This is possibly the first time that we've seen the LOP sit in the 5th row, and that's where the entire controversy is. But we were digressing from the main issue. Rajat Sethi, you wanted to come and respond to Mohan Kumar.
No. Wait. Preeti, now that you've digressed, I'll update you. Ministry of Defense has just issued a clarification on that, that he was allotted the 1st row, but out of, his willingness to sit amongst the Olympians, he went back and sat there. Even the Congress party has now acknowledged and said that, yes, it was his wish to go back and sit. This is the recent
well, the last we heard was to make room for the Olympians. Mohan Kumar Mangalam, then it's... Then it's
I think Rajat Sethi
is just happened.
You can check with your own spokespersons. I was in another television discussion and they were celebrating Rahul Gandhi that he actually gave up his front row seat and went back. That's how clueless.
All right, so come on, Mohan Kumar Mangalam, then that's an unfair charge if it's true. If there is an official, if there is an official,
for a political leader,
so let's go one by one. Let's go one by one. Let's all go one by one.
I did not come in.
Okay, Rajat, you made your point.
You're done, I thought.
Somebody is making a point.
Right?
Rajat, you made your point. Let him answer.
Have the decency, Mohan. When somebody is speaking, I did not come in and start blabbering the way you are doing, okay?
I'm not blabbering, Rajat.
Guys, come on. Can we just get some decorum?
Very well, you are.
Fair amount of bonhomie. It's the Independence Day. Can we all take a minute
just
and
by the fact that you are in
break?
Congress party doesn't make you special, okay?
No, 1 second. Everyone's getting equal time. Everyone's getting equal time. Mohan Kumar Mangalam, can I just get Rajat Sethi to make his point and I'll come right back to you. Rajat Sethi, go ahead. Make your point.
You should please lower his feeder so that he doesn't interject when I'm speaking.
Make your point, sir, quickly. Make your point.
Now, the point is that, first of all, where he sits is not a national issue. If he himself has chosen to go out and sit between the Olympians, so be it. Half of the Congress party is celebrating his move. The problem is that these Congress people, they don't even know what this person is up to. He wants to be in the heart of the news and he'll do all the theatrics to do that. Let him do that. That's not an important point. The important point is that when Prime Minister took up certain bipartisan issues, what is Congress's response? I want to genuinely understand, isn't too many elections round the clock in every state, year after year, throughout the year? Can Congress not come out of its frozen thinking on this topic come out and tell the citizens?
Okay, Mohan Kumar Mangalam, would you want to come in? Because we are a country which is constantly in election mode. In exactly a month, we are going to be in Haryana, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Jammu, Kashmir. Go ahead, sir.
Preeti, first of all, I thought he was done. And I think when you started speaking is when I started speaking. There's no reason to get personal and use words like blabbering. It just vicifies the debate for no reason. Secondly, as far as one nation, one election, one leader, one person will be chief minister, prime minister, and maybe even panchayat president, God knows, or mayor. I don't think it's something that's feasible. With plan has to be seen as to how it's going to be implemented. It remains to be seen which governments which are opposed to the BJP are willing to actually shorten their term, or those who are willing to maybe stay along longer for the BJP in order to make this a possibility. How it's implemented, really, the devil is in the details. For me to be able to actually say, or for the Congress party to be able to say this is a viable option or not. These proclamations have been doing the rounds for a while now, but I don't see any feasible way in which it's possible. And for the once we even doing it, if it is implemented, we couldn't even do one Lok Sabha election in a couple of phases, which we'd done a decade or so ago. It took us 7 phases. If we're talking about one nation, one election, what are we talking about? 28 phases, 30 phases? Maybe that's something, that's the first thing that the Prime Minister needs to clarify.
All right, okay, let's get in quick comments. Ashutosh, would you want to finally answer the question that I asked you about one nation, one election? Because like I said, one of the allies is on board, the other one in all probability will be, because it anyway votes with the Lok Sabha election.
See, these are all just arguments for the sake of arguments. This one nation, one election means killing the diversity in the country. And to say that one nation election is needed for the development of the country, I want to tell the entire brass of the BJP, then since 1991 onwards, the country has progressed in terms of GDP index and every index. When the elections were happening after every third month, it did not stop. If you do not have have intelligent people who know how to unleash the animal spirit of economy, then obviously there will be jobless growth. I'm telling you, this is basically to kill all kinds of competition and killing the regional aspirations. That's nothing more than this. Where was the country when the one nation, one election was happening? What was the GDP growth then? When the GDP growth has become so powerful in this country, 1991 onwards. When the GDP growth had gone down, 2014 onwards. When you have a demonetization, when you have a GST implementation, and suddenly you stop the entire country during the corona, then economy is going to tank. Among all the countries, minus 26 degree GDP, minus 26%. Among all the top countries, we were the least there on the pad. So you need talent. You don't have talent. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Tuhin Sinha, final rebuttal, you can come in on that, because the charge by the opposition is that the Prime Minister just wants to push himself through as a man of reform and hasn't thought over the repercussions of it.
No, Preeti, for a government which has walked the mile when it comes to abrogation of Article 370, implementation of CAA, the triple talaq bill, I don't think, the Congress should continue to live in a delusional world. Yes, these are tough things to execute, but on the Waqf Amendment bill, you have heard the speech of JDU. They are firmly with us. I was on a show just prior to your show, and the TDP is completely in sync with us on the UCC. When it comes to one nation, one election, the basic objective is that and it is to optimize governance by reducing the repeated interruptions which come time and again. For obviously parties which have never worked, they don't realize the importance of this quality time, because we are chasing certain goals for 2047, certain economic goals, and that can only be achieved if we optimize governance. So we are constantly working towards that, but unfortunately they don't understand. The only thing I would like to tell them is stop living in a delusional world. I think Prime Minister 98
for the lack of a better word, the
today
government was
is a
in
very
brute
clear
majority.
indicator
Right
that he's
now,
going to
things
walk
are
the
very
talk.
different, especially even with the Waqf bill. You've seen it's gone to a select committee, and what I pointed out right in the beginning, if you see the members of the select committee, it's going to stay there for a while. But we're going to keep...
we have the numbers, don't worry about that.
All I'm saying is, if you look at it, what's going on in the select committee, it's going to stay there for a while.
We have the
but having
numbers.
said
We
that,
have the numbers.
It's about audacity of hope.
Sorry, Rajat?
It's about audacity. You need to be audacious when it comes to hopeful ideas of this country, not be clogged
What
in
do
your
you mean
mind.
by audacity?
जैसा चल रहा है वैसा ही चलना चाहिए आशुतोष जी के हिसाब से, कुछ बदले ही नहीं, ऐसे ही ग्रो हो जाएंगे हम।
करना चाहिए रजत के हिसाब से, बात ही करते रहो, काम करने की जरूरत नहीं।
Imagine.
Okay.
Imagine, Preeti, the
All right, you know what
amendments
I'm
we
going to
are
do is
bringing
allow
to
me
the
to end it
work
here.
bill were
Allow me to
recommended
end
in
the
the
debate here.
Sachin
We've
Commission.
digressed so much in this debate, but let's just end it here. I wish all four of you a very happy Independence Day. Enjoy a good meal and a holiday.